Okay, here's how I started with my first idea with the steel plate on the bottom. But that really didn't work out because I wanted it to kind of fit on the stove, and there was a little welding flaw in the boiler, and the whole idea was it to fit on the Coleman stove like that and function. But I needed to refine it. I couldn't get enough heat, so I kind of designed. Well, actually, it was Uta's idea to bring that up, and so I even went to a different stove. I finally got myself a new stove. You can see I got this baby red hot. I just could not get that boiler to heat up much. A little bit here when I did the modifications and the whole new idea. So we're going to go ahead and cut to that, and you're going to watch how this ended up in the end. This was kind of the first test run on my new idea, and we'll go into a little more detail here and show how it finally came out. But yeah, I did get it to work. It took a few different versions and a couple ideas, but in the end, you'll watch what happened. All right, we did it. We're ready for camping. Here we go. So this is an example. This is the boiler we are going to try to flatten out, but this is an example of what I did because I had an old boiler like this, but the threads were cut off. And I was going to just make it into a little robot, who knows. But anyway, then I got an idea. I go, God, what if you could make a stovetop for when there's no electricity or camping or something, for an actual stovetop lever? So that's when I started in, and the first thing I did was looking for like a heat diffuser. My first idea really didn't work out because it actually just created a heat sink, and it's not a pretty cut, but that's all I could do with this thick piece of metal on my own here without a fancier saw or something a little more powerful. But I wanted to put this on a Coleman stove and the heat could come up through, but this just really worked as a heat sink. And then you'll see we'd have the great idea of a dome so we could try to channel, but that actually heat sink too, so it didn't let enough heat get up. So I was looking at different diffusers and ways to do it and what you could find and make, and and usually I just like to do things out of things I have laying around. And so there's these heat diffusers, but they're not really going to do any good because they're just warming themselves up too. And then, what do we got, Pavoni? Right, this heat diffuser, which had a hole in the bottom, so I found that. And then I had this heavy-duty wire laying around, so that I may change that to a skinnier wire, but I went ahead and I was able to go ahead and fuse this on with it, and it still can move around if you need it. And the way I did it was the same as this one, had that little hole in the back. So I hooked the bars through there and then just wedged it down and made a cross beam. So it still moves a little, but not bad. And I may redo these in a thinner piece of metal, but I had this sitting around and it worked pretty darn good. And then I just needed something to have the cup sit on. So you'll see this in a couple different ways. It's just from God, I think an old micro. I don't exactly remember, not a microwave. It was from something at one time, some little oven cooling rack thing. But anyway, I hooked that on there, and that holds the cup because I just couldn't find something that was big enough with that hole. But yeah, so this is all out of found parts. It's a battered old boiler, threads cut off. It had a little tiny crack back here, but I was able to seal it with this food safe high temperature, as high as I could get and have food safe silicone. So, I mean, in an emergency, I wouldn't use this all the time for every little thing, but I gotta say, it did seal up this back that was leaking. It did work for that in this case. So we're all set there, and yeah, this is it. We're gonna go do it. The thing, gosh darn, if it didn't work, I had to put when I was doing the testing, the other, the other gauge was down low and melted, but that was because I had so much heat. But yeah, weirdly enough, the water never would get hot. So that's why we did the whole heat thing, because you find out that the heat transference may not actually correspond together. But yeah, we put that up high. Everything worked pretty darn good. We'll go ahead and watch this. It's pretty darn epic. And yeah, I finally did it. I worked a long time on this and it just wouldn't quite work right. And I still haven't done it on the Coleman stove, but I got a new camp stove, so that's a little better than my old Coleman anyway. So we're just planning to do a little more outdoor stuff, and we just worked all the time. But anyway, so you can buy something from Etsy, some of our pins and stuff, and that's going to be our retirement fund, so we actually can not slave away one day. All right, let's watch this baby go. It's so freaking epic. It's really good. Okay, we're outside in the backyard, and there we got her up on the rack. Sits really well on there, pretty stable. You know, it wiggles around on its base a tiny bit, but that wasn't a problem at all, you'll see. So, yeah, and there's the gauge going up. So this time we're doing much better. We actually have the gauge going up. It's not melting. And this heat diffuser is working good with that hole in the bottom. It's letting us actually heat up the boiler. So that worked good. You know, all found things put together. It's really, it's pretty darn epic. This is like the total analog steampunk version, right? All ready for some, you know, dystopian science fiction movie. But I love the rubber. We're going to have fun taking this around and making espressos different places. Probably bring a Bellman in this one, and yeah, we'll just go off and do a bunch of espressos. You know, this is a little lower. I was misreading that gauge a bit in the beginning because I was thinking a different thing was 1 bar, just because of the way that gauge is. But so this is about 07. Steam milk really well. The pressure goes down quick when you're steaming milk, but it only took about 3.5 minutes for it to come back up to that 7 bar right after steaming milk. So it wasn't really that far, but it did bring the pressure pretty far down to steam. So here we go. Now back on, and let's see how it does as far as espresso. I have a smaller, you know, just a regular double shot, you might say, for La Pavoni, and then, you know, a regular portafilter without the spout on it. So let's try this one out. I'm using this little wire thing, you know, from some type of toaster oven or something, little cooling rack, but it kind of fits under there. I probably need to find and design something a little better for this part, but you know what? This doesn't work bad. There we go. See if I can get that lever up. I turn. You know, I may have to figure out more about the heating, how I handle that, whether I have it really hot or heat up slower and cooler. But there we go. Ooh, careful! I should have a regular heating pad, instead of that slippery cloth. But there we go. She's up, and we're going to wait a minute, see if we get a drip. This is the first test run. I think I had a little bit of water or a bug, who knows? But anyway, there we go. We're outside. I'm going to have to do a little Fellini on this one because I went down. See, there wasn't much coming out. So that's because we have low pressure, but there we go. We did a Fellini. And there it is. Oh, there it is working. Yeah, all right, there we go. Here it is, visual live. You're getting to see it. There it is. Camping, stove top, La Pavoni lever. And there it is. Full function. Wow, that's good. And there it went. So there we go. We're going to really have some fun with this thing. So let's bring it up and we'll do another test run. I think this coffee came out the best out of all of them. I made 3 test runs here. So we're going to bring this up to a full 1 bar. All the way up on the gauge. We're going to do milk afterwards, so let's go ahead and see how we do here. Or this is the second coffee, so let's see. I think this one's going to come out the best of both, of all 3, but here we go. She's up, everything's looking good. You get a few cavitating bubbles in the sight glass, but no worries. And there it goes. So it took a little bit. It's working, you know, pretty much just like an indoor one. And there we go. Just got to kind of hang on to it. It wiggles a little bit. And, you know, that rack the cup sits on, I'm going to probably have to design something out of something a little better. But that's working pretty good right now. And look at that. Yeah, bottomless. Yeah, we are. We're getting a shot with all this stuff, crema and everything. So, yeah, it's working really good. I'm really stoked this thing came out like a dream. I've been thinking about it for a super long time. And yeah, there we go. So let's look at Unbelievable. So let's make some more. Okay, nice Sunny. Let's see. We've almost the top, the little 100 at the very top is 1 bar of pressure. So we're almost there on this stage. I misread it a couple times, but we're almost up there. It's doing pretty good. It hasn't 100% pop like a 2-switch one, but yeah, we're almost there. She's working really freaking good. Took a lot of design, but yeah, this is going to be the run. This thing's going to be fun to take places, and it's been super fun to build. But yeah, we're verging right up there, getting towards, what is that? Let's see. Yeah, we're about 09, so we're about 09 pressure right now, and very close to it. And we're going to hit that 100 pretty quick. Is going to be exactly 1 bar of pressure. But God, we're probably almost ready here to make some espresso or something. Wow. All right, we're just about hitting. Yeah, 1 bar, so we're probably pretty good. What we'll do is we'll, well, there we go. That's pretty good. I'm trying to get a stability on this, but yeah, it works pretty good. It's got to be careful. Yeah, pretty epic. 1 bar, let's go ahead and give her a full-on practice run here. You know what, I'm going to put this down while I pull the bar up. This gets pretty hot, red hot right there. That's the only catch. There we go. We might devise a different rack, but this rack is going to work all right. So we have it. Well, we got a good drip. Yeah, we're just hitting 1 bar. Turn that down just a bit. Oh God, we are. Let's see how the pull comes out. Let's see if we can do this without breaking the cup or anything like that. Or getting the cup too hot too. I realize you want to put this cup on at the last minute too. Well, she's doing pretty good. I'm going with my other hand. I usually pull the other way, but heck yeah. We got some pressure. She's working pretty good. You got to be a little careful here. I can see the cup's kind of getting hot, but yeah, there we go. Right off. All right. So the cup got a little hot on one side, but it worked pretty darn good. You can see that. You want to put it on last. I may devise something a little better for there. I have a little metal thing, but yeah. There we go. We're still holding about 1 bar of pressure. Let's give her a milk steamer test. What the heck? Hey, that is steaming like a dream. I would steam after the coffee. I think my next thing, I'm just going to put the cup at the last minute, but it came out pretty damn nice. I could see that this side of the cup got a little warm. The milk is steaming good. I'm about to just shut this baby off. Yeah, the pressure drops a lot when you're steaming milk. But yeah, I still got the almost the 140 where I usually steam. Milk came out good. And we did it. There it is. We'll be refining this baby for a while, but yeah, there we are.